Hey everybody, this is Chase Petiche, and I'm making this video to discuss who are the people that are drawn to shadow work and why. Why would you be drawn to work with me? Or as I like to call it, reclaiming your shadow power, shadow empowerment work. Because I think in our culture we have a deep fear of the shadow, and it really is, in my experience, the deepest and most profound path forward to freedom. So the people who are really drawn to this work and the people that will really get something out of it, I believe, are people that are at a point in their lives where they have a deep desire to change. They have noticed a certain level of constriction or shame, guilt, control issues, codependence, deeper layers of things that create behaviors in their lives with their relationships, in their jobs, in the way that they present themselves in life, that really is holding them back and not allowing them to really express the truth of their fullest potential. And I can say this because I have been a seeker and a healer my entire life. I backpacked around Europe when I was 19 by myself. I've done countless medicine ceremonies, and which are like ayahuasca, peyote. I've done a lot of work to really get to the darker, deeper aspects of myself, because I always knew that I was kind of held back by a lot of my shame, a lot of my insecurities that were keeping me and preventing me from moving forward into this, what I'm doing now, actually. And so what you're kind of getting when you work with me is that kind of deeper energy of depth, transformation, change, kind of, that's really when people do ayahuasca ceremonies, they're seeking healing, but really what ayahuasca gives you is it gives you a perspective of being able to come outside of yourself enough to really see a bird's eye view of what's going on in your life. They call it the little death because you actually enter into the parts of yourself that have been holding you down, holding you captive in your darkness, and you kind of go into them and you start to actually explore and see why you acted that way, why you have acted that way. And what results is a kind of freedom, because you're illuminating this piece of yourself that you've always held so tightly, that has been so wounded. And that's exactly what shadow work does. So, the shadow empowerment, shadow power retrieval that I do. So, what you really get from this kind of work, and to me is the most fundamental and important piece that any person can do in any kind of spiritual work, is really freedom. Like I said, I have done years and years of all kinds of spiritual medicine ceremonies and everything, but it wasn't until actually I came across this work that where I consciously worked with another person and then worked with myself to go deeper into my darkness, the parts of myself that are hold the most shame, the most arrogance, the most pride, the most control, the most fear. Because underneath all of that is fear. And what this work does, the work that I do with people, with you, would be to go deep into that. So it requires a real level of courage. And when you really open yourself up to having that kind of courage, you open yourself up to a deeper level of self-worth, because you're doing something that has kept you kind of captive. It's addressing something that has held you prisoner because of your fear of facing it. And when you turn to face it, you literally shift your entire being, and you start to have a deeper level of integrity, of confidence in yourself and your abilities energetically. What this does is it really opens you up to healthier relationships, because if you're beginning to know yourself, and you're starting to heal yourself on a cosmic, karmic, quantum level, going into yourself, going into your past wounding and healing it, and becoming more transparent about all of these parts of ourselves that we kind of keep underground, that we do not want to admit to, that we do not want to ever even really look at because it's so painful, because we have a kind of pride that has kept us together in our lives, right? And so when we start to open up to this, we start to kind of break through all of that pride that has kind of held us together. And what you start to do when you start to reconcile that darkness and you start to bring light to those darker aspects, those darker aspects that we've been avoiding our entire lives, you have healthier relationships, you have healthier expression of yourself. You actually know yourself on a true, authentic soul level. And what happens is that it's easier to make decisions. It's easier to move forward with ease and clarity in your life, to know what is the right path for you. Equally, it's easier to open up to abundance, because when you start getting really raw and real and open, and you start opening up the channels in yourself that you've kind of kept hidden under a gray fog because of whatever reason, when you start bringing light to that, you're literally opening a channel in yourself where you begin to open up to receive. And when you open up to receive, you're opening up to the highest levels of abundance that this universe is truly wants to give you. Opening up to your birthright, your cosmic birthright, which is of prosperity. And it's really a divine feminine perspective that I take, that is not a manifestational, pushing, striving, creating. Yes, that is necessary, and that is a beautiful thing in and of itself. But we need to increase these energies of the divine feminine, right? And really, the divine feminine and all the teachers that I've worked with are all about just opening up to receive. Everything is already out there, since there is no real time and time is not linear. Everything that we actually desire and that is meant for us is already waiting to come into our consciousness. It's really up to us to open up to allow it in. And so doing this shadow empowerment work that I have created and the programs that I have created helps you to open up to that higher level of abundance, of joy, because abundance just isn't just material, right? It's really opening yourself up to joy, to beauty, presence. And when you start opening yourself up to that, you really start opening yourself, you start opening up this channel of receptivity in your energetic being, and then it's natural that a new kind of prosperity comes into your life. This work is really, my tagline is, accessing your darkness truly transforms your light. It truly brightened your light. And I can tell you that this is the truth, and that we kind of live in a time right now that's very interesting, where so much darkness is apparent, but we're still in this manifestational push, creation mode. And the more that we can start really opening up to the darkness within ourselves, within society, and start facing it, which is really, the darkness is the shame, the fear, the pain, the unworthiness, and really starting to look at that and open up to it, we begin to transform the way that our light shines in the world, the way that our energy actually comes off, and we're actually able to shine and expand and elevate our entire being in a way that we have never before. So those are the people that come to do shadow empowerment work with me. It's, what I have created is new. It's not, I am on the backs of it's a collaborative effort in everybody that I have ever known that has introduced me to shadow work, shadow inquiry processing. But, this is something that has come from spirit through me, that is ready, that humanity needs in order for us to rebalance these energies, so that we can begin to build a more collective partnership, divinely feminine, integrative, humanitarian consciousness that we're on the brink of opening up to. So that is the reason why I do this work. It's for the healing, the true healing of every one of you, including myself, so that we can begin to live in a more equitable world that that all of us feel worthy and joy and beautiful inside of. So that is my little piece of love and wisdom today. And yes, please contact me if you are interested. I would love to work with you. This is the reason I'm on this planet. This is what I'm meant to do. And if you're ready to transform, if you're ready for deep integrative spiritual change in your life, if you're ready to really become more of yourself, to change, to let go of the things that have been holding you back, contact me. Let's do this. It's 2020. I love you all.